Fun fact, if you go on TCG Player and order yourself a Mew VMAX V Battle Deck, then you also get the code. You can see they're selling from anywhere from $26 to $27. Up to 30, of course, but some of these unopened are incredibly high prices. The trick here is you get the code for the battle deck on the Pokemon TCGO, which means you get two decks in which we're about to find some exploits with. So, if I look here at my trade history, if it'll ever load, let's see. This is our trade. What happened here? What happened in order for me to trade this VMAX deck that I just got, that everyone's playing right now, to something completely different? Well, I posted Mew VMAX, Mew V, Genesect, and all of, a bunch of the fusion stuff for the Darkrai deck. So I got Moltres V, Ho-Oh V, a couple of them, and then my 6 copies of Darkrai V, along with 2 Crobat V, which one later became shiny. And we even got Radiant Greninja, a couple Quick Balls, Professor Research, etc., etc. So we got 14 super rare or ultra rare cards. Pretty much 14. This one doesn't really count. And we gave 18 regular cards, most of which being our Mew V, and that was a really good trade. Now, of course, this is not certain that you can just go up here and do this. I mean, some of these trades I just got really lucky at. This was another one that went really well. I threw a random Charizard EX in here, couple battle passes, Fusion Strike stuff, and I got pretty much the rest of the deck. These are all the trainer cards that you're going to need. If we go to my deck manager, so the VMAX Battle League deck, as we saw before, is like $26. And in total, I mean, you get a bunch of the deck. So during the first trade, this is what my deck list looked like. Of course, we have all the important aspects of the deck, the 15 Pokemon, and then the trainers were a mix, a variety. So energy searches in order to pull the extra energy from our deck. And honestly, surprisingly, this version of the deck, kind of the broken version, really helped me win. I think my total win streak was like 8 in a row. But it really played pretty well, even with some of the stuff that isn't necessarily great in here. Now, let's take a quick peek at the regular version of the deck. Same premise overall. The only addition in the Pokemon slot is Hoopa. Really like the card. I think he's cool. But this looks completely different. So, of course, we got 4 dark patches. Went down to 1 escape rope. Ordinary rod. It's pretty good. Quick balls we have 4 of. So, quick ball and ultra ball are our main discard outlets. And what we're going to do here is we're going to use Moltres to revive Flame. Bring back with ideally 4 energies, which is going to power up our Dark Pulse from Darkrai V-Star, in which you're never going to have trouble drawing the right cards in here. 4 Professor's Research is really going to help. Serena lets you discard and draw, or it acts as a boss's orders, which is very important for just kind of sniping their strongest Pokemon. Choice Belt, also good if you're playing against a lot of Vs, which the meta is fully packed with right now. Marnie, of course, in case you just need to filter cycle. Clara, I'm thinking about going up in Clara if I can get one, because if I would have gotten to Clara the last game that I played, I would have been able to return both Darkrai V-Stars and then win. So keep in mind that the deck is kind of difficult to play. It is very Storm-esque in Magic, 12 Dark Energy, just because. But it was pretty much a 1-to-1 trade with the Mew deck. So being able to kind of shift different directions competitively in the meta is really fun. And I do have to say the Mew deck, while it was good, it wasn't like insane. there are a lot of people playing it, and I felt like with how many people that wanted the Mew, well, playing a dark deck that's going to be super effective against Mew is going to be good. And let me tell you, it was. I slaughtered the matchup. I mean, whew, they take a beat. It took longer for me to take a trip to Walmart to buy the deck than it did for me to trade into the deck that I wanted. No, I don't want to go first. Alright. Pretty good start. Respectable. So, as a Magic player, the startup of the game is very important. You're able to choose an active Pokemon and then choose bench Pokemon. I don't have any other basic Pokemon, which you can see in the top left corner of the card. But I would be able to play these turn 1. So, for instance, that they could play 1, 2, 3, or up to 5 on their bench. Only plays 1. Now, Pokemon, you take 6 prize cards. Yeah. I'll take 4 cards. So, in the deck, we're not worried about what we have in play. We're worried about killing our opponent's Pokemon in play. So, you can play any basic Pokemon, and some of them have abilities which fuel the deck. But you can play any basic Pokemon turn 1. And, for instance, Darkrai was a basic, so we put it into play, and they cost nothing. So, it's not like Magic where you have to play an energy and then put it on it, and then go on, do this and that and the other. It does take a turn for the summoning sickness, as I like to call it, to wear off. But since they went first, I'm able to evolve this immediately. So, first thing we're going to do, put an energy on it. This has got 83.6. If I get another Darkness energy in play, then I will be able to pretty much just... If I get another energy in play, I will be able to nuke their Pokemon. I don't really like what I'm seeing here. I might as well try to get some stuff. I'm going to Quick Ball, discarding Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh has an ability that lets it return from your graveyard. All in all, pretty great. Gonna get another Darkrai. Gonna use Ultra Ball here to discard Professor's Research and Boss's Orders. Boss's Orders are going to be more important against the VMAX, V-Star games. Stuff where you're going to have kind of a tough time. I do want to get Greninja out here because he lets us discard energy cards in order to kind of go hard. Don't really want to do this, but I guess I can. So you can only play 1 supporter, 1 stadium per turn. And of course I didn't draw anything good. No more energies for me. I can still Ultra Ball. And again, we're going to do Professor's Research. And let's do Serena this time. So I'm going to go ahead and search for Crobat V. Crobat V is going to come into my hand. You have to be very careful with this. Your area down here is kind of difficult. I'm going to discard an energy card now. I should have evolved my Darkrai. That was on me. Let's put it on this one. And of course we can activate Ho-Oh, but we don't have as many energy in our graveyard as we would like to. So that was an okay setup turn. Their turn 1, they played a couple of cards. Nothing really super important. Looks like they're probably playing a versus deck. They do have a V-Star emblem, which means they might have Charizard or some kind of special VMAX card in here. That's going to be very important, just knowledge-wise, to look out for. So he's able to U-turn it. If he's able to double evolve it, it could be, you know, up to 80 damage, but Darkrai is pretty tanky, so I'm not really worried about it. Our main goals in the deck is definitely to dig through. So, decks have to be 60 cards total for a Pokemon deck to work. Let's see what we get with a Trekking Shoes. Yeah, I'll put it in my hand. See what we get with the trekking shoes. No. Still no other Darkrai, which is kind of tough. I think we go ahead and play Energy on Darkrai V and Research. So this is going to give us 7 new cards for 0. Okay. Now we're working with something. I'm going to activate Quick Ball, discarding an energy card. Let's see. I don't think we want a Crobat. I think we want a Galarian Moltres. Actually, if we get this other Moltres, we can put a free energy into play, but we can't activate Greninja, so we'll do this. So we're going to go ahead and activate Greninja. Discarding our only energy, drawing 2. And then we could play Dark Patch, returning one of the energies to our other Darkrai just to set it up. And then we're going to Dark Pulse, steal 150 to whatever their Pokemon is. That's going to give us a prize card. It's a Ho-Oh-V. Okay. Now, a couple win conditions. At the start of your draw step, if you can't draw, you lose. However, you can draw through your deck until you can't draw anymore. Paper. Paper. Alright, cool. Guess I won. Another way to win is if your opponent has 0 Pokemon on the bench. I'm going to replace that with a Darkrai. If your opponent has 0 Pokemon on the bench and 0 in play, then you lose. Or they lose, that is. I'm going to go ahead and play this on Moltres V. Not going to activate that. Only have 2 in here though, so I'm going to go ahead and Moltres V. Return him. And the energies. Just to give an example of how the deck works. So that does end your turn, but now I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 2400 damage on either of my Darkrai. Alright, he did choose paper again. Victini. Alright, pretty good. He's gonna deal some damage to our Charizard. Maybe Roaring Blast? 50 more creature Leon in your discard? Nope. Okay. So, with that, I almost just win. I got 14 cards in my deck, so I don't really want to do something crazy. I can get back some items. So, for instance, if I needed something with a Quick Ball or an Ultra Ball, I could get that back, or even Dark Patches if I had too many cards in my discard. But since I don't really have anything, I'm just going to Dark Pulse and kill Charizard. Professor's Research. Being able to Wheel of Fortune, have 4 in the deck. Granted, supporters 1 per turn are kind of interesting, but it really keeps everything flowing well. VMAX. So, this gives me 3 prize cards whenever I kill it. Oh no, my Darkrai. So he took 2 prize cards. I've taken 2 prize cards as well. Let's see. So I have how many? 2 in my graveyard. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do both. Get a Darkrai and a Darkrai V. And then I'm going to get 1 energy because Ho is going to activate and use the other. So Ho is going to eat the other energy. This is how I could sneak a separate one into play. And then I might as well go ahead and play another Darkrai. Put an energy on it. which this is going to do 3, 6, 9. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, 18. A bunch. Not as much as it takes to kill his Pokemon, but still a good little bit. I don't have anything in here that could Dark Patch or get me another energy, which is why I really like the cards that search for it, just to pull more energy out, see more available. But we're going to have 270 done to this Pokemon. It is done in the form of counters. Damage is not removed at the beginning and end steps. Also, at the beginning of every upkeep and end step, I believe, Pokemon Check is what it's called. That is when statuses are applied. So, for instance, if a Pokemon is asleep, you have to flip a coin twice. If you get 2 heads, it wakes up. If not, it stays asleep. Poison is also determined during these steps. For instance, there is a Coughing Wheezing deck that makes poison, instead of dealing 10 damage, 1 counter, it does 40 damage, 4 counters, which can add up, of course, at the beginning of combats, or upkeeps, which allows you to really burn down your opponent. They have 20 cards left. I have 13 cards left. All in all, the position's looking favorable. Let's talk about the honorable mentions. Alright. Well, yours is going to die before mine, so it is what it is. Still can't do most of that. Let's see. Our bench is pretty full, but I don't want to draw 7. So I'm just going to kill his VMAX and take 3 prize cards. 1. Energy. 2. Choice Bell. 3. Energy. So I have 1 prize card left. So if I kill this Charmander, I win. That being said, if he kills my Darkrai, he can't kill anything else, but if he kills my Darkrai, then he wins. Almost. By a net 1 prize card. So, for instance, if Moltres didn't have any energy on it, which it deals 190 stat, it's pretty good. We're not scared in this deck, especially with all of our recursion, with our Ordinary Rod, and using Professor's Research. We're not scared to lose a V or VMAX Pokemon. It's not something we really worry about, because I'm just going to put Darkrai VMAX up there. And then, of course, put an energy on him. Now, let's see. This is where we can have some fun, because we have, how many? 2 Darkness Energy in the graveyard. We're going to go ahead and use Moltres' ability, and then a Dark Patch. And this ensures that we're not technically losing any energy, no matter what happens. I could Quick Ball. I don't think there's anything else in the deck that I care about or want. Might as well use the V-Star power and get back. See, we can do 2 trekking shoes. We haven't seen an escape rope or anything yet. But we can just kill Charmander. And that's GG's. So I won. My technical win condition was in 2 ways. He had no Pokemon out, and also I took all of my prize cards. So as you can see, 1200 damage. That was kind of an okay game. And that's how easy it can be to really switch over and go from just a pre-constructed deck that everyone wants to play, that may have a couple of good cards in it, to just having a good time enjoying Pokemon. Now, I never really thought of how good this game could be. I was kind of down on Pokemon for a long time. In all honesty, I shouldn't have been, because I've had nothing but a lot of fun in the last few days of playing Pokemon. I mean, all the cards are super cheap competitive-wise. The tournaments are apparently all very friendly. I went to a pseudo tournament, more of a learning event a couple days ago now. Full HP is knocked out by damage from an attack. Your opponent Pokemon put 8 damage counters on the attack. Ew. Kind of gross. And honestly, the decks are very easy to manage. Now, what do I mean by that? Let me show you. It's 60 card minimum, which means you can do the math on your decks really easy. 10% of my deck is Darkrai, because 60 divided by 6 is 10. That's how you do math. 10% of my deck is Darkrai. Now, it is easy to get only VMAX Darkrai and not any Darkrai V. But that's where the trainers come in. There's 33 of these bad boys in here. So let me tell you, there's a bunch. Okay. Of course, some trainers are just for drawing cards or discarding energy. Serena's a great example of that. Discarding a Moltres and 2 energy while you have 2 energy in your graveyard means that Moltres can immediately come back with 4 energy, and you could probably use Darkrai VMAX to kill something. This card is stupid, by the way. It costs 2 to use Dark Pulse, only attack on the card. Star Abyss lets you put 2 items from your discard into your hand. Of course, Crobat lets you draw 6 up to 6. Ho-Oh lets you return all the energy. So I haven't talked about Moltres that much at all. Ooh, I didn't even notice they're both different foils. When you play it from your hand, you may attach 2 energy from it, from your hand to it. Now, its attack is also kind of good, but mainly the reason this is in here is because there's a lot of anti-VMAX cards in the meta. Greninja, you literally, in the deck, you literally can't use Moonlight Shuriken. You cannot use this at all. There's no blue. There's no special energy. There's no way to use it. But damn, Concealed Cards is good. Glaring Moltres, I've been thinking about putting more of these in here because honestly, it's good. Hoopa is mainly for the search. Search your deck for a dark energy attached to one of your Pokemon and shuffle. That's really the only reason. Just fuel your deck. But again, I think I'm going to edit this a little bit because I would like less trekking shoes. And I would like more things that search for energy. So, being that most of the trainers, like, keep up with the meta. No, I need energy search. So I'm going to put 2 energy searches in here. Search for basic energy, put it in your hand, then shuffle. That way I can get them back with Darkrai and then potentially use them later. It's great to just jam these sometimes. But Ultra Balls are going to get you your Darkrai V or anything. That's the only non-basic Pokemon. Darkrai V, yeah. Everything else is basic. So you don't have to worry about collecting or getting everything right. Quick Ball is going to get 90% of your deck. Especially good if you have like 2 cards left and you Quick Ball for a Crobat and then fuel your hand back up all the way to 6. A couple little combos in there. Boss's Orders, as I've said before, for instance, if they had a VMAX on the back and they just had a burner Pokemon in front, I switch them, kill the VMAX, it's done. That's GG's. Clara, of course, we saw her be very good by choose one or both. I did not know she said both. Very happy she does. That's a different story. Ordinary Rod just puts them in your deck. And honestly, if I put another Clara in here, I might take this out because it didn't really do anything. There's nothing that Ordinary Rod did that just kind of stood out. It was very in the middle. Now, something to take into account is you do want to be careful with how many supporters you have. Because as of right now, we have 4, 6, 8, 9, 12 supporters. Which means 20% of our deck is cards that we can play 1 per turn. Keep in mind that, you know, Quick Balls and Ultra Balls are going to be able to discard, for instance, Boss's Orders like you saw. You don't always need it. It's a great card to have, but it is kind of a burner card. Professor's Research is the same way. Late game, this is bad. Early game, this is fantastic. Now, you do get card sleeves every time you buy an Elite Trainer box. And you get battle decks. Like, anything physical that you buy is going to be reflected in the online card game. Now, per se, You can just totally buy some online codes for like a few dollars. Be careful with those. For instance, the pack codes, the going rate's probably about 50 pack codes for $17. I haven't bought anything for this account yet. This is just me putting a TLDR out there, you know. I haven't bought anything. But the pack codes are pretty good. 50 for $15, $20 is, and that's all silver Tempest packs. So it's relatively new. You are able to use them in trading in case you do need some extra parts of your deck. The deck codes are a little bit more confusing because they're about $20 is what we have them averaged as as of right now. But you can just buy the deck for $26. So you should probably just buy the deck and then get both. And that way you have something physical to go play with your friends and also something online to go play and train with. For instance, I ordered my Darkrai deck, and not the exact deck list. Honestly, at the time, I just ordered a bunch of, like, half of these cards. Some of them were given to me. Now, the Pokemon player base is really good about new players. There's a lot of times that someone cracks a whole box, never plays the online card game, and just gives you all the codes. That similar situation happened to me. I think I entered like 28 or 30 codes or something. Of course, I didn't get really anything. All in all, Pokemon trading card game online is a lot of fun, and you might see some videos in the future of me trying different meta decks. I'm having a lot of fun playing Pokemon, and I have a lot of friends that are very supportive of playing it. And who knows, maybe I'll do some IRL videos of me at a Pokemon tournament. That'd be interesting. Just me walking around a Grand Prix with a camera. Be a lot of fun. Well, holler if y'all need anything. I'm gonna play some Pokemon.